On today's show, National Signing Day wrapped up yesterday. The 2022 signing classes are complete. We'll tell you who are the big winners from the second part of National Signing Day, and we'll continue our coverage from the Reese Senior Bowl in Mobile. Today, we catch up with Missouri running back Tyler Badie and Florida defensive end Zach Carter. Locked on SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's happening, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. Great to have you guys along. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. Let's jump into it. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Intercepted. Makes the handoff. What a catch.
Around the conference.
And we start here with National Signing Day. Yesterday was the second portion of National Signing Day, putting a cap on the 2022 recruiting classes, and there were some big winners across the SEC. We start with five-star defensive lineman Shamar Stewart, the top-ranked player in the state of Florida. He announced yesterday he is going to Texas A&M. That further solidified this A&M recruiting class as the best in the nation. This class is a Wednesday afternoon, contains 7 composite five-star players. Alabama's 2021 class held the previous record for best class ever. Now, in addition, 3-star tight end Danny Lewis, he chose Alabama over the likes of LSU. Remember, Danny Lewis grabbed headlines a couple of days back as he had a viral Twitter video dancing with LSU coach Brian Kelly when he made his LSU visit, but ultimately Danny Lewis chose the Crimson Tide, yet another Louisiana kid heading to Alabama. LSU did get some good news, however, as 5-star linebacker Harold Perkins chose LSU. If you remember, he was previously a Texas A&M commit, but then decommitted, ranked as the number 8 overall player in the country. So a big get there for Brian Kelly, and he didn't even have to dance with him. Meanwhile, Houston 3-star wide receiver Caleb Douglas, he chose the Florida Gators. Florida also added 3-star edge rusher Jack Pyburn, who ranks as the number 36 edge rusher in this class. 4-star running back Trevante Citizen kind of shocked everybody as he had been considered a finalist for LSU and Florida and Auburn. He went outside of the SEC, choosing Miami. Now, if you remember, Ole Miss running backs coach Kevin Smith just recently left the Rebels for the U and coached up guys like Jerry and Ely and Snoop Connor last year, so maybe that had a selling point for Trevante Citizen. LSU also picked up 3-star cornerback Jalen Davis Robinson, who chose the Tigers over Oregon. And Georgia picked up a commitment from 3-star running back Andrew Paul, then added 3-star linebacker E.J. Lightsey, and also added 4-star defensive lineman Kristen Miller as well. Mizzou, they picked up a 3-star offensive lineman in Curtis Piegler out of the state of Alabama. Now, one of the big headlines of yesterday, what came from Jimbo Fisher, as he took issue with some of the stories out there, internet rumors that he is paying, or, A&M is paying a lot of this recruiting class through NIL deals. Here was a little bit of what Jimbo Fisher had to say on that front.
Here's my problem. There is no $30 million fund. There is no $5 million. There is no 10. This is garbage, okay? And it pisses me off that people, and here it comes from a site called Bro Bible by a guy named Slice Bread. Then everybody runs with it. So it's written on the internet as gospel. How irresponsible is that? And then to have coaches in our league and across this league say it, clown acts. All right? Irresponsible as hell. Multiple coaches in our league. And the guy's griping about NIL, griping about transfer portal, using it the most and bragging about it the most. That's the ironic part. You want character? I'll take it with any of y'all. It's a joke. It does piss me off. It's funny. When Nick Saban said his quarterback got an $800,000 deal, it was wonderful. Now it ain't wonderful no more, huh? But ours, we ain't got that. Ours are on record what comes up. We ain't doing all them big deals. Ain't none on our place we know of. That's funny when you do it. The hypocrisy is a joke, an absolute joke, and it's insulting to our staff, how hard we work, to how we do things. It's insulting to Texas A&M because there ain't a better place to go to school and play ball. We don't like it. We're coming on. Get used to it. All right? We ain't going nowhere. It's an absolute joke that people put the hard work in and do it. It's irresponsible, but it's funny when they get it, it's all okay. Ball games are changing, man. And it ain't because of NIL and what goes on. It's pretty irresponsible of all of them. They're clowns.
Go next.
If they got a problem with it, come see me.
Good stuff there from Jimbo Fisher. He did also add that he said, how about coaches that are supposed to be doing the right thing? I'll tell you what, I know how some of those guys recruit too. Go dig into that. I know the history, I know the tradition, and I know things. Trust me, you don't want to go down that avenue. So, some fighting words there for Jimbo Fisher. And some people thinking he was targeting some of those comments towards the likes of Lane Kiffin and others who have made comments about Texas A&M and paying players. But crazy stuff there from Jimbo Fisher. But, hey, look, it was an exciting national signing day. Some other news coming out from yesterday. On Wednesday, Ole Miss, they received news that former Mississippi State wide receiver Malik Heath has committed to the Rebels. He shared his commitment on social media. Heath recorded 34 catches for 442 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Bulldogs last season. Also, after 3 seasons at Auburn, wide receiver Javarius Johnson will be looking at playing elsewhere. He has entered his name into the transfer portal. That coming from Matt Zenitz at On3 Sports. And there you have it. That is the latest around the conference. Man, there's a lot going on. We didn't even touch on the Senior Bowl, but we got some great interviews coming up in just a bit with Tyler Badie, the Missouri running back, and Zach Carter, the defensive end out of Florida, both here in Mobile. And we had some good conversations with them. That is coming up next. Thank you guys again for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Always good to tell you guys about BetOnline. They have got you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as the football season continues on with the big game coming up in just a couple of weeks. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just about football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. Rolling along here, Locked On SEC. I want to remind you, it is Super Week, brought to you by GetUpside. There's no better place to get coverage of the big game than the Locked On NFL podcast. Locked On NFL, Locked On Bengals, and Locked On Rams will be in LA all week covering the big game. As we mentioned, we've been in Mobile here all week long for the Senior Bowl and catching up with some SEC players taking part in the game. We were able to catch up earlier today with Tyler Badie, the Missouri running back, so figured we'd let you hear a little bit of that conversation. Here was our interview with Tyler Badie from Missouri.
Welcome back to Locked On SEC, and I've been talking about this guy all year long because he was one of my favorite players in the SEC. Tyler Badie, running back for Mizzou. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying the experience right now.
What's it been like so far?
That was just fun, just being in the building with a lot of great running backs, a lot of great players out here. It's just good to go out there and just show and compete what I'm doing every day.
Is it a little strange? I mean, the early wake-up calls and these long days. I mean, it's long days, right?
Right. It definitely takes a lot of toughness, to come out here and be able to wake up for 4-hour day and then go practice, But I'm handling it the best I can and, just doing what I need to do in order to show that I'm a great player.
I called you the heartbeat of Mizzou this year. I mean, you were clearly the best player and put the team on your back at times. What was this season like? Because it didn't get started the way you guys wanted, but ultimately you were able to pull out some wins down the stretch and really, make it a pretty good season as opposed to, if you had gotten a couple losses there at the end of the season, it would have been, this wasn't what we wanted.
Definitely. Our biggest thing was just going out and just being bowl eligible. And I feel like that's what we did. our team rallied together late at the end of the season, you know, and we came together as a team. We came out there and won the game and got eligible, and that was our goal.
What do you like about Coach Drinkwitz? We talked with him at SEC Media Days. Seems like a very relatable guy. What did you like most about Coach Drink?
Definitely. It's just more so his offensive mastermind, you know. He's going to go out there and try to score a bunch of points for the fans and put on a show for everybody. He's going to try to get everyone the ball, you know, and spread the ball around and just do different things, you know, to just make everyone in the best situation to win.
What was it this year? I mean, was it that offensive line opening up holes for you that was really the key to success? Because, man, there were some times where you hit the hole and there was just daylight and you take off going.
It was definitely our offensive line. You know, they worked very hard in practice, you know, to just give me holes. You know, we communicated a lot, and they just did everything for me, and I appreciate them guys for it.
A little strange. Connor enters the transfer portal, you know, and he's moving on. But what did you like most about getting to play with Connor Bazelak and kind of seeing his growth throughout the year?
Right, definitely his leadership, his character. You know, a lot of times people had a lot to say about him. You know, people weren't very high on him, and that just shows what type of man he is, you know, just to fight through adversity and be able to just continue to stick out with our team. It just shows how much of a team player he really is.
Talk a little bit about Mizzou's defense. At times, you know, early on, they were giving up big plays and all this, but down the stretch of the season, it seemed like they really buttoned up and they got some big stops down the stretch of the season. You go against those guys every day in practice. What was the defense like this year?
Right, definitely. It was just a hardworking group of people. You know, they were always in the weight room, always getting treatment, doing extra. You know, and it was just a matter of time before they showed what they could do, and just coming together as a team. You know, I feel like that's what they did. It showed later on in the year.
Who hit you the hardest in practice?
Oh, man, I had to say D-Rob or Devin Nicholson, so.
It was obviously a long season, a lot of ups and downs. What was if you look back on just this year, what was the highlight? What was your favorite game?
My favorite game was definitely Florida. You know, we rallied together and came and won a game in overtime, you know, against Florida, a very highly ranked and highly, stout SEC opponent, you know. So it was just a good feeling to come as a team, you know, and win that big game and become bowl eligible ultimately.
You guys got Dan Mullen fired.
We're not gonna really talk about that, but I know Coach Drink happy about that one. Oh man!
Talk a little bit about what you're working on this week, what you want to show, because you know I've seen your name. You know, you pay attention to the drafts, mock drafts, and all that, and your name's climbing. What do you want to prove most this week at the Senior Bowl?
I just want to show that I'm versatile. You know, in any situation, I'm a mismatch nightmare for anybody. You know, and I just waited for one team to just give me an opportunity. That's all it takes. There's 32 teams out there. I just need one team to give me an opportunity, and I'm going to go with that team, and I'll give them everything I got.
You mentioned versatility. Obviously, I mean, not just running the ball. You can catch the ball. You're fast out of the backfield. Is that something you want to show as well?
Definitely. You know, versatility is always a big thing when you talk about football. You know, the game's changing. You know, you need a running back that can catch the ball. I had 54 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving in my career, you know. So no one else has done that, you know. So it's just a good feeling, you know, to stand out in different ways, you know, and just be able to showcase it out here.
That's what was crazy was throughout this year, I was like talking about you and like, man, leading rusher, you know, 160 yards, whatever. Oh, by the way, he also had another 50 yards receiving. Like it was unbelievable. Right. But I mean, you really were the centerpiece of the offense. Talk a little bit about your thoughts on Mizzou heading into next year. Obviously, new quarterback, new running back. Give me a little bit of a thought on what they're going to look like next year.
Right. They're definitely a strong group of people. You know, I talk with Brady. I talk with the running back room. They definitely know what they have to do. They know what they have to they know their goals that they set out, you know, and now it's just time to go out there and achieve it. Believe in yourself and believe in the team, and you go be able to do anything.
Last thing, coming into this past year, did you ever imagine you would be the leader in rushing in the SEC for much of this year?
Right. Actually, I said it at the beginning of the year. I believe I was the best running back in the SEC, and I showed that, you know, and I showed with stats, you know, and I just told everyone, you know, believe in me because I'm going to believe in myself. And whether you didn't or did, you know, I was ranked number one in everything that I did. So it's just a great feeling, you know, and I really commend my team and my teammates, you know, for giving me the support and pleasure of playing with them.
Okay, we're going to put some good vibes out into the universe. Did you have a favorite team growing up in the NFL?
I grew up a Saints fan. You know, I was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. You know, Alvin Kamara is a great running back. You know, I look up to him and watch his game, you know, and just trying to mimic and mirror what he does, you know, because he's a mismatch nightmare like I want to be in the NFL.
Man, that would be some thunder and lightning, Alvin Kamara and Tyler Badie back there.
You know, a little something, you know. I'm not going to put it all out there, but I just hope I get an opportunity.
Hey, man, best of luck. Great to catch up with you, and we'll see you in the league, all right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
All right, that's Tyler Badie. More after this. Thanks, bro.
Tyler Badie, Missouri running back. Great conversation. Coming up next, we're going to let you hear our conversation with Zach Carter, Florida defensive end, who had a fantastic year for the Gators. Look, guys, need to tell you about our friends, the incredible app that everyone who buys gas needs to know about, and that is the GetUpside app. Our listeners are earning cash back for every gallon of gas every time they fill up. You just download the free GetUpside app in the App Store or Google Play. Right now, use our promo code SCORE. Get 25 cents per gallon or more on your first fill up, cash back. Don't pay full price at the pump anymore. Get cash back using GetUpside. Download the app for free and use our promo code SCORE for 25 cents per gallon or more on your first tank. Some people drive a lot or make as much as $200 to $300 a year cash back. There's no catch. The cash gets added right back to your account. You can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, whatever. Just download the free GetUpside app. Use the promo code SCORE. Get 25 cents per gallon or more cash back on your first tank. That's code SCORE on the GetUpside app. Continuing on here, Locked On SEC, again from Senior Bowl week in Mobile. And this next guy is a mammoth, a huge guy. Don't call him Zachary Carter from the Florida Gators. And here's a little bit of that conversation. Really excited to see what this guy does at the next level. And to hear him tell it, he says in hindsight, he wishes he had more eligibility to come and play for Billy Napier's staff. But here's our conversation with Zachary Carter.
Pleasure to be joined now by Zach Carter from Florida. You go by Zach or Zachary? I keep seeing it all different ways.
It don't matter, man. I like Zach, but it don't matter, honestly.
All right, yeah, I just want to get that right because I want to know what you prefer because I've seen it a million different ways. What's this week been like for you so far, man?
Man, it's been a blessing to be here. So far, we talking to numerous scouts. It's been a crazy process. It's like a dream come true. But we had our first day of practice yesterday, and it just felt good to be out there around all these good players. I love to compete, so it's been competitive.
It feels like this stuff comes so quick with the end of the season. Did you get some downtime, a chance to relax after the season ended?
Well, yeah, I opted out of the bowl game, so I definitely got some downtime, just to rest the body and get all the nicks and things that were bothering me out. And then I started training, about 3 weeks ago at MJP in Texas. So, I'm feeling it's like the best I've felt in a long time, for real.
Because that season, man, it's such a grind, and you guys had so many. It was an up and down roller coaster ride this season. What was it like? I mean, it felt like even down to the wire, you guys were still playing as a team, playing as a group, even with Coach Mullen gone, Coach Grantham gone. I mean, was that one of those things where y'all kind of rallied and said, "Look, we got to play as a group and finish strong here"?
Well, as a team captain this year, I kind of felt like the weight was on my shoulders a little bit. Like I kind of tried to keep the team together the best I could, and we had a really young team. So like, I was just trying to keep guys together, just finish the season strong, just get through the season, because the last thing you want to do is guys that just say forget the season and just do what they want to do. So it was tough, man, but it was good to go out with a win on senior day, my last game in the Swamp.
Oh, especially against those guys, right?
Oh yeah, especially against FSU.
Talk a little bit about the quarterbacks, because, I mean, I liked Emory, I like Anthony, but I think both those guys are so talented. What did you make of how those guys performed this year, and what do you make of how they're going to look moving forward into next season?
Well, I feel like both of those guys are really talented, man. I feel like if you put them in the right system, I feel like sky's the limit for both of them. Anthony's a little bigger. He has that's really the difference in his playing style. Like, he can run somebody over. He's legit 240, Did
he ever run you over?
Heck no. No, man, I'm physical.
I know.
Yeah, I'm physical, man. But, yeah, those guys are I feel like they have bright futures ahead.
Talk a little bit about the Gators moving forward. What have you heard so far about Coach Napier and all the new guys who's coming in? It seems like it's a lot of optimism. A lot of people saying, yeah, I like where Florida's headed.
Man, all I'm gonna say is, man, I have another year, you know, but I wish I had the opportunity to play for that staff, you know, just to see how that would be. Because from what I'm hearing, even from the players, like from my boys, from themselves, they're saying like things are changing, like the culture, you know, they saying they being taken care of better, like food, parking, you know, team dinner, like coaches taking players out to dinner, like as a regular thing. Like I love to be a part of that, man. But I definitely feel like Coach Napier has a team headed in the right direction. I feel like Florida will be good for years to come, man. I like what he's doing. He put together a great staff.
It's interesting because, you know, when a new coach comes in, usually it takes a little time, but everything we're starting to hear, hey, they may hit the ground running next year.
Oh yeah. I feel like look for Florida now as a contender. Don't count Florida out. It's a lot of talented guys on that team. You know, I feel like they just had to be led in the right direction, you know.
Talking with Zach Carter, did you have a favorite memory from this past season?
Oh yeah. I definitely say that. Well, I had 3 sacks in one game. You know, I never done that before. So, I mean, it was FAU, but I mean, it doesn't matter. To me, it don't matter who you play. Some guys never get to do that. So that was a big deal for me, man. It felt great.
It's one football, 11 guys on both sides. Don't matter who you're playing, right?
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about what you want to achieve this week, just being here. And I mean, you know, what are you hearing, at least from some of the coaches and stuff, on maybe what you might need to work on?
Well, I definitely know I need to improve. I know the areas I need to improve on in my game, especially, you know, some of my run fits. I feel like a lot of people just view me as a pass rusher, but I feel like I check all the boxes. I'm a run defender. Well, to answer your question, when I leave here, I want to have all the boxes checked, man. Like, he could play the run, first and second down defender. We could leave him on the field for pass. You know, he's a pro. He handles business like a pro. You know, he has great character, everything. I just want to check all the boxes, man.
Are you a true defensive end, an outside backer? What would you classify yourself as?
I'm a true defensive end, man. And I had the ability to kick inside and create a mismatch on the guard. But, you know, I feel like I'm a true defensive end. I kind of model my game after J.J. Watt. Like, he's a bigger defensive end, but, like, you know, he still uses his size and his length. You know, he might not be the fastest guy, but, like, he made it work. So that's who I model my game after.
The phrase I love is high motor. Are you a high motor guy?
High motor. That's what you have to be. High motor.
What are you going to miss most about your time in Gainesville?
Definitely just all the memories I created, man, over the years. I feel like in college, the biggest thing is the bonds you create, the relationships you build with teammates and things like that. I'm going to probably miss that the most because I know at the next level, you know, it's not the same. Like, it's a true business. So I'm going to miss that aspect the most.
Zach, thanks so much for the time, man. Best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
That again, Zach Carter of the Florida Gators. We appreciate him taking some time out. And man, if you saw him in person, you're at the Senior Bowl. He is a grown man, massive. So best of luck to him at the next level. And we'll continue to have some interviews throughout this week, catching up with some different guys from the SEC. Of course, our thanks today to Zach Carter from Florida and, of course, Tyler Badie, running back from Missouri. Later this week, we'll catch up with Justin Schaefer, offensive lineman from the national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Also, LSU linebacker Damone Clark, Kentucky offensive lineman Darian Kennard, Ole Miss wide receiver Braylon Sanders, Texas A&M safety Leon O'Neal. We got a loaded guest list the rest of this week here on Locked On SEC. So make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss a second of it. We will have you covered all this week from Mobile and, of course, the Senior Bowl. I'm Chris Gordy. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out the Locked On Bets podcast with your boy Q and Lee Sterling. giving you all the picks that you need that you can go make over at betonline.net. I'm Chris Gordy. Talk to you guys tomorrow from Mobile right here on Locked on SEC.